First place is the first loser. Success, spiral dynamics, orange, narcissism, psychopathy. Let's have a look. Hello, this is Chris speaking. Wake up with a video about success. It is said the second place is the first loser. But from a second tier perspective, from a spiritual perspective, the first place is also already the first loser, because there is no difference. There is no goal to achieve, and even if there would be a goal, to get there is already enough. You don't have to get there first. And also, there are no limited places. It's not like only 100 people can get enlightened, and if you get there first, then you get the treasure trove and everyone else doesn't. Anyone can get to enlightenment, but it's not an achievement. It's gifted to you once you let go. And there are no limited places. There's a story someone told on the Facebook group of this channel about some guys visiting Tibetan monks, and they were doing a race, and then afterwards the monks were very surprised that the Westerners thought they had won because they reached the finish line first, because they thought reaching the finish line was the purpose, not to reach the finish line first. This is a very good metaphor. There is no first. First in comparison to what or to whom? Now, this is a very childish idea that we know from spiral dynamics red, the power mongers, and the throwing a fit of rage between the age 2 and 4. And then later, unhealthy orange. Orange is about efficacy. To do everything as effectively and logically as possible. But unhealthy orange looks a lot like red. It can easily be confused. And the other thing to consider is that narcissists, there is this cluster B personality disorder. And narcissists, all these cluster B people, they can't feel their self, so they're constantly looking to get their validation, to their feeling of self and their feeling of love. Everyone wants to feel love from somewhere else. And narcissists want to get it by being worshipped. They actually think that being worshipped is getting love. So they want to be celebrities, they want the fame. And if you're up there as a celebrity, that can also be counted as success. And psychopaths, who are also a little bit similar than narcissists, they actually get their validation and their feeling of love by success. So the search for success, the thirst to be the first, is a psychopathic personality disorder. Only we are so used to it now. We are being taught our whole lives that this is what life is about, success. To be there first, to get more than the others. This is psychopathy. This is the reality for people who do not feel any emotion and any remorse and any conscience. The only thing they enjoy is success, and this end of success justifies all means. All means. Even if people get endangered or hurt or even killed, it doesn't matter. And to top this, the most wonderful feeling of all for psychopaths is to get success at the expense of others and not get caught. Which we know again from the red meme. But the unhealthy orange meme also has that. The healthy orange meme avoids being shamed. Because once you get caught, you get shamed. And also to be thrown into jail is not a really effective way to live. So they bend the blue rules a little bit, but not so much. While someone with a red meme doesn't care about blue rules and laws. Only in Spiral Dynamics Green, it dawns on people that this can't go on like that. Can't go on like that, that everyone wants to be the first and everyone wants to be the richest and everyone wants success at the cost of others. So there you sacrifice yourself for the good of others. And it is a job of the green-centered people to rein in the unhealthy orange. And the more horrible, success-driven, orange-centered people will get, the stronger the green meme will get. More and more people will migrate towards green because they see that this kind of orange, this kind of economy doesn't really work. In the long run, this is the long view. And in the second tier, where it's not anymore about personality, but about spirituality, about the soul, it's not about success at all. But it is very important to realize this, because we have been trained up until green, up until whatever happened to push you into yellow or turquoise or coral. Up until then, you've been trained to look for success. This is the most important thing in life. Now, when you're on a spiritual path, you have to let this go. Because this will be a huge hurdle, a huge impediment, a huge obstacle to think that the story of spirituality, the story of the soul, is also about success. And then instead of a company CEO, you'll be a famous guru who will be worshipped and who has the success story of enlightenment. But it's actually the exact opposite. Enlightenment happens when you realize that your personality is fake, that there really is no one there. It's just a jumble of memories and habits and programs and brainwashing. So for someone who is really enlightened, there is not the experience of success and there's not the experience of being worshipped, because there's no one there to experience this. But this emptiness is not at all the same as the emptiness of the narcissist or the psychopath. Those two can't feel themselves. They have no feeling of themselves, so they look for outside validation in the form of worship and success. While the enlightened person can feel him or herself very well. He or she just doesn't take it seriously anymore. He or she is aware of the mind and aware of the body and aware of other things like the soul and intuition. But it's just going with the flow. There's not the illusion anymore that you have to do something to achieve something, because the illusion of time is also gone. And there's no competition anymore, no contest, no compulsion, no fear. Most people, they act from their fear and from certain compulsions which are subconscious. And because of this fear, there's this illusion that there is some kind of competition here. There is no competition. Competition is a very, very childish idea that still exists in the first tier because the personality is not integrated. It's not fully developed. So there's always this fear to be found out, to be shamed, there's guilt, and so on. The fear that if someone were to see what I really am, they wouldn't like me anymore. This is a fear that is being instilled in early childhood in our society. But once you're enlightened, you don't give a damn anymore what other people think about you. And you have an integrated personality. And because you have an integrated personality, it doesn't interfere anymore. All these fears that were interfering before are gone. So they can't interfere anymore. And you can just let your personality be. And you can just let your body be. While knowing at the same time that this is not all you are. That you are part of the whole big one, of the absolute. And if everything is one, of course there can be no competition. Of course there can be no first place. Of course there can be no winners and no losers. If at all, then the first place is the first loser, because he or she is moving away from inner peace and towards stress. To be the first and to have to be the first always, and wanting to be the first, is a huge stress. It's a good recipe for a heart attack or a stroke, but doesn't have anything to do with being there. If you are here now, there can be no first place. It's just absolutely impossible. Either you're here or you're not here. And if you're not here now, then you're running around looking for it all the time, outside, while actually it's inside. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for joining me on Facebook and Patreon. Thank you for liking and subscribing and hitting the bell button and sharing the videos with your friends, and see you soon.